Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the iceHQ Adult Development Program's Introduction to Playing Centre on this lovely Thursday night here in Melbourne over online. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we get underway. This session is being recorded. The recording will be placed up on YouTube, and this particular session is open to anyone who's interested, essentially. So not just restricted to members of the Dev Squad. So we may have people from elsewhere, although I don't see anyone from elsewhere showing up on the list at the moment. But regardless, it's available to anyone, and so too is the recording. These recordings are not unlisted; they're published, so anyone who wants to watch this can watch it and get an understanding of how we play centre in the Dev program. So we're all happy with that. Don't worry, Alvin, I'll just mute you. It's all good. How's your back? Oh, you're on mute.
I should be right for Sunday.
We're going to have a little bit of a logjam of centres for some of the teams over the next couple of weeks. We'll start to work it out. I'll just go through the agenda first, the stuff we're going to talk about. First of all, we're going to talk about the role of the centre in our structure, how we use the centre in the Dev program, which is not the same way that a lot of other programs do it. We have some pretty good reasons for why we do what we do, but letting you know that our role is how you use your centre pretty much determines how the team plays. Makes a big difference in how that works. Then we're going to have a look at face-offs, why you do them, what's important about them, and so forth. Then we'll look at the centre's role in attack and as a leadership role as well in the team. And also we're going to finish off looking at the breakout and how a centre's role in the breakout is supposed to work, again, reinforcing the idea of how we use a centre in our program. So we're all happy with that. Any questions so far? Excellent. I'll make it just a second. Yeah. Okay, so in the Dev program, if you were to give a term for the centre's role, the role that I define it as is it's the team's insurance policy. So primarily the centre's role is one to support. You support the defence in defence and you support the attack in attack. You're not a primary defending player and you're not a primary attacking player. Doesn't mean you don't find yourself in those situations, but your role is primarily a supporting one rather than a role of as being a primary playmaker. So think if you've watched NHL games in particular, he's going back a few years now, but someone like a Patrice Bergeron or who's the Panthers guy that I should know, Sasha Barkov. Both there's an award in the NHL called the Selke, which is an award for the most, for lack of a better expression, the most defensive forward. And between the two of them, Barkov and Bergeron, pretty much had the Selke named after themselves. In fact, you probably call the Selke the Bergeron. Their role was not to score a lot of goals. So if you look at Florida last season when they won the Cup and the season before, Sasha Barkov didn't score a lot of goals, but his plus minus was excellent. And the same thing with Bergeron. Both of those players have got very, very effective in as defensive players. They shut down opportunities and they make sure the goals aren't scored against them, which is critical. Do you all know what plus minus actually means? You got any questions? Put your hand up now if you're not sure what plus minus is. Some of you won't know.
Yeah, I'll put my hand up. I don't know.
Excellent. Plus minus is the number of goals scored while you're on the ice compared to the number of goals scored against you when you're on the ice. As a general measure, it's an indication of how effective a player is, both offensively and defensively. Now, it's a statistic that's collected in the NHL. We don't have it in rec league because we don't have the level of statistical, the ability to do it. Basically, we don't have the trackers and people keeping track of everything that happens. But the idea is when you're on the ice, more goals are scored by your team than scored against you. You have a positive plus minus, which is generally a good thing. If you're on the ice and more goals are scored against you than for you, then you will have a negative plus minus, and this is generally a bad thing. So who thinks, what's his name? Connor Bedard is a great player. Anyone?
Great skater.
He's a good skater. Is he good at scoring goals? Yeah, he's pretty good at scoring goals. Anyone know what his plus minus is for the last two seasons?
Probably minus 100.
Yeah, it's not very good. I wouldn't want him on my team. because he gives away too many goals. And not a good, not an effective centre from the point of view of winning games. Good for winning individual statistics, but not so good for winning games. You want to make sure the goals are hard to score, and we all know that. We've all kind of seen the heat map, and I've spoken to you briefly about the why we structure our games defensively more than offensively. But why is that? Can you want to hazard a guess at an explanation for why defense is more important than attack?
It's
Yeah.
Well, you
easier
don't want. Oh, sorry, Lad. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I will
Okay.
be the last.
I was just going to say because you don't want goals scored against you.
So you don't want goals scored against you, but you don't want goals scored against you in any sport. But why is it more important in games like ice hockey?
No idea.
Compared to, say, for example, basketball?
It's easier to defend than to score the goals.
To an extent, yeah. That's one way of thinking about it. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Low scoring event,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, one goal matters a lot, doesn't it? In
Yeah.
a game of basketball, one goal, yeah, they're going to score like 100 points every game. So it's like 1% of everything. How many games of hockey have like 2-3 goals are scored in a whole game? Most of them. So goals are very valuable. You don't want to give away easy ones. If you give away easy goals through doing dumb stuff, then you're going to be a very easy team to beat. So our role as a centre is in our program is to support the defenders primarily. What do you think that means by support?
More like help than actually.
Go on. In what way?
Uh,
You're right, but it's a bit vague. Be more specific.
yeah, now my English goes.
So you know what you
Kind
want
of.
to say, but it doesn't come out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us in Russian, and we'll translate it.
Well, I just will try to. It's more like kind of a cleanup, so to say, or organ set up. If we're talking about attack, it's more like a second wave of attack, I would say.
Yeah.
Just second opportunities, and if we're talking about the defense, it's more like a cleanup and replace probably is not exactly what I want to use, but like if the attacker or if the defender goes after the puck, the center would just like replace him in his position or her position.
You're covering for players being out of position, aren't you?
Yeah, covering. Yeah, that's the word. Thanks.
When a D's in the wrong spot, the center's got to fix it. When a forward's in the wrong spot, the center's got to fix it. So you can kind of think of it. Support in that context is covering for missing players. Under what circumstances in particular do you think a center needs to cover? Like, what are the most dangerous things?
Defensive breakaway.
The
Defensive breakaway.
meaning
Oh, like if a D's pinched up.
if a D's pinched, yeah.
Yeah.
When a D pinches, center's got to cover because otherwise, what happens?
Good luck.
You get a breakaway.
You get a breakaway. There's something very, very topical about that. Any of you watch the game, the NHL game today? Yeah, North Carolina, Colorado, and
Wild.
Minnesota.
Anyone watch that?
Yeah, if you pass the second period, you can't. If it happened in the third period, you can't say, Carl.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I said
don't ruin it. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, if it happened in the third period, you can't say I paused it so I could join this.
Okay. I can't ruin that for you then. Have I got an example of it that doesn't actually show you what happened in terms of the result, but will still give you the thing? Give me just a second. I think I've got it edited to the point where it'll actually make some sense. Because it is actually a really, really good example of when things go wrong and what a center's role is to try and fix it. Just give me a sec while I try and find the video that's not going to spoil it for you. This one we'll do here. Okay, so we're going to watch a little bit of a video, and it's from that game. And the spoiler is it's in overtime, but I'm not going to give you the result. All right, so the game went to overtime. You're all okay with that? Bad luck if you're not, you know now.
Yep.
Bonus hockey, great. All right, let's see what happens here. This is a classic example, and I think it was it Vlad who just pointed out that sorry, no, it wasn't Vlad, sorry. That when they pinch is when we need to watch that. Okay, so have a look at the situation here. What do you see?
You see all the Minnesota players in the picture,
Mhm.
and they're all like pretty much just below that, nearly all below the hash marks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Count the Colorado players. Now, bear in mind one of them's out of shot.
Yeah.
What do you see? We were just talking about it literally a minute ago. What do you see?
The 94, it's pretty much open
Mm-hmm.
if the rebound happens.
Okay, so the Minnesota's defense isn't doing a great job, but have a look at the Colorado players in particular,
They're all in shooting position.
aren't they? But how many do you see?
3.
4,
You're not doing so good at your maths. That's okay.
Well, I see 4, but one, like 3 are close to the net.
But so have a look at 17 there for Colorado. What's his job?
To more or less prevent a breakaway.
And what's he doing?
It looks like he's waiting in case the puck gets cleared.
Which way is he going?
Towards the net.
What's that called?
Pinching.
Pinching in, isn't he? Do you see the problem?
There's no,
Ah.
there's nobody else.
yeah. So
If the puck clears, he's on his own, but he's facing the wrong way.
Exactly. Well, even if because we know there's it's not a penalty kill, so we know there's a Colorado player. The other D is probably sitting back on the blue line. So he's out of the shot.
Oh, okay.
We know that 17 there, who's one of the Colorado D, is pinched right in, and he's still moving forwards, isn't he?
mhm.
Right. What just happened? Now look at the situation. What do you see?
He pinched and he lost.
Pinched and lost. What's going to happen?
Minnesota's
Oh.
going to clear the puck.
We're not just going to clear it.
It's Kaprizov. It's probably will try to go up.
Where are the most goals in hockey scored?
Breakaways.
Breakaways. What are Minnesota about to have?
A breakaway.
So if you're the center, what are you thinking here?
Get back.
Yeah, get back. Right, you got to haul ass because you've just seen this situation. You've now got 4 Colorado players all down below the face-off dots. One of them is even stuck behind the goal line, and there's a turnover. You don't have possession anymore. So as a center and as a supporting player, I'm thinking my job is to get back and to get back now. This has gone wrong. I have to fix it. Right, this has gone horribly wrong, and I have to fix it. Let's watch what they do. Who's that barreling down the middle at 1,000,000 miles an hour?
The center?
Yeah. Hello.
Oh,
It's playoffs. It's overtime. Sudden death. Goal. Right. So what are you thinking? I've got to get back and I've got to fix it. And they fixed it. I'm not going to give you the result of the game because if you want to see it, but that was a very, very significant moment in this game.
And also an example of less skewed, more short.
Sorry?
Less skewed, more short. Kaprizov should have short. Not try to make that pass.
Yeah, probably. In fact, if you watch it I've actually got a slow motion version of this, but this is just kind of more out of interest. It's not really center play. But if you watch what happens when the pass comes across, I'll go through it frame by frame and you'll see it. It's perfect defensive player by the one Colorado player was back. He's making the challenge at the house mark. He's doing everything right. He also gets a little bit lucky. Watch this. See that?
He grabbed the stick.
No. Watch the puck.
Oh, where's
Yeah, the deflection from the hook.
I'm doing a slight frame by frame. We'll kind of get through the first little bit. We'll go through this frame by frame. I want you to pay attention to the puck. They got a bit lucky. You need a bit of luck. Seeing it? See that?
Yeah.
They got a bit lucky. But at the same time, that was beautiful defensive play by the one Colorado player who didn't pinch and a desperate back check by the Colorado center. Right. That's great supporting player from a center who got caught out of position, realized it had gone wrong and thought, oh no, if I don't hit the Jets here, I can't support my players. So what does that tell you as a center about what one of the things you need to prioritize during the game?
Not overcommitting.
Say again?
Not overcommitting.
Yeah. And
Short shifts.
what shifts? Yeah. If you can't sprint the length of the ice, you're not going to be a very effective center. Okay, so you got a short shift. You got to change on the rush more often than your wingers do. Wingers can get away with being more aggressive and staying out there a little bit longer because they would make the argument, and I disagree with them, that their back check is less important. But if you're tired, you can't sprint back, and then you can't assist. So you need to change on the rush more than wingers do. The way I used to do it when I used to play last season, was last season or the season before, we had she's playing for the Melbourne Ducks now. Canadian girl, I forgot her name. It's terrible of me. She and I were rotating through center. She was replacing me, and my job as a center, I'd get the puck in defense, start moving up the ice, change so she can get on with fresh legs, and she's got a lot of goals, because she was quick and she was also straight away on the ice and scoring from that regard. So as a center, you're going to be changing more than your wingers and changing more quickly, so that you've got that energy to defend. Otherwise, you're a liability. You don't want to be a Connor McDavid. You don't want to be an Austin Matthews sort of a forward. You want to be a Sasha Barkov or a Patrice Bergeron. In our program, anyway. If you want to be Austin Matthews, go play for the Leafs. They love scoring lots of goals and losing lots of games. Because they can score a lot and still lose. All right, so that's just an example of how center's got to support back and get back very quickly. My antenna go, there it is. Especially doing a pinch, gone through that. Another thing to be aware of is the center's role also in defense is to be that third player in the defensive triangle, because we know that most attacking setups consist of a triangle, don't they? Let me just pull up the link diagram. So here's our ink. We are attacking uphill, so attacking to the top. We know that a very common setup in attack is something like that. Yeah. As an attacking team. That's what we'd set up, isn't it? If the puck was in the corner, we'd set up something along those lines. So as a center defensively, what's your job? Because there's 2D and 3 forwards, isn't there? What are you going to do?
Well, obviously, use a center as a third G.
Yeah. So the center's a third D, aren't they? Where would you normally expect to be as a center? In a more of a sort of like assuming things went exactly by the book, which they don't, but assuming they did. Which one of those three players do you think the center would be covering?
Ice lot.
Yeah, you'd want to be that one. Usually, not always, but usually. And what you can actually do in that situation is instead of sitting there, I'd be more inclined to kind of park myself about there. So I'm kind of covering both because we're going to have one of our D going in and putting pressure on that one, another one of our D tying that player up. So you're in that sort of intermediate position. You're cutting off the passing option, but you're also able to assist your checking D if you need to go in and pick up a loose puck. So you're kind of doing a little bit of both. But you've got to have eyes in your back of your head because if this player moves into somewhere dangerous, you've got to cover them. That's more important. If that player there managed to plonk themselves somewhere considerably more dangerous, oops, that's supposed to be a delete. Why isn't it deleting? Doesn't delete, that's why. I'm just going to get rid of all the skunk. So if, oh, that's really not helping. Anyway, so if their forward was to move themselves sort of a bit closer or over here, you'd need to follow them. Make sure you're taking them out as an option. Because if you don't, all of a sudden they've got a loose player, and the loose player in the slot is the one who scores the goal. Okay. So you're always thinking in attack, in defense, where's the loose player? I've got to pick up that loose player. You're also more likely to be the one doing the talking. The player who's gone into battle in the corner is not going to be talking, are they?
So you need to be the communicator.
Yeah. As a general rule, usually the center is the most talky, apart from goalies, but you can never hear what goalies are saying. They've got a helmet on. It just comes out like, no, what? They're saying something, but you got no idea what it is. So yeah, a center is usually the one giving the instructions as well, like ups and overs, times and pressures. Take that one, I've got this one, that sort of communication. And we do that a lot as centers. It's very much our job to have that more expansive vision of the game. And a D who's focused on battling with another player, we've got to have a bit of a bigger picture. So intellectually, it's a very challenging position. You got to think more. That's what makes it so much fun. I've been playing center for years. I love it. I can't play anywhere else now. I'm a bit kind of specialized, but I'm also a terrible skater. But it's not about being a great skater. It's about being in the right place. And if you can anticipate something before it happens, then you win the race just by leaving early. My actual agility as a skater is pretty bad, but I can get from one end of the ring to the other pretty quick. And that's what you need as a general rule. Okay, so we kind of get that idea. We're supporting in defense. Let me get rid of all that gunk. So what else as a center is important? There's one really significant part of the game, isn't there?
Faceoffs?
Yeah, face-offs. Okay. So before we talk about how to do face-offs, we're going to talk a little bit about what face-offs are and where they're important and where they're valuable. So under what circumstances are there face-offs, and roughly how many face-offs do you get per game?
Anytime there's a goal or a whistle normally.
Yep. And?
Offside and covering the puck, the goalie covering the puck.
Yeah, they're always.
Yep.
There's something
Yeah,
else.
the whistles and starts of the periods.
Start of the period too. And that might not sound like much, but it actually can make a big difference. If you can score a goal off the opening face-off, how good does that feel?
Good.
It's pretty nice. Doesn't happen very often, but it's pretty nice. And what does it do to the other team?
Not so good.
Yeah. Oh no. We're going to get thumped. Well, it might not necessarily be the case, but those face-offs matter. And face-offs are very important. Which face-offs do you think are the most important?
Icing ones, defensively.
B zone.
Face-offs are fairly important. Yep.
B zone face-offs.
Yeah. Sorry.
D zone face-offs.
Yeah, D-zone face-offs are important, but less important than you'd think. But they are important. They're probably the second most. Which face-offs do you think are the most important?
I suppose O zone then, because you need the puck to score the goal.
No, you're not going to score it, so don't face-off anyway. Very, very rare. That's why there's that video full of people getting face-off goals, because it's the highlight reel goals, because they're really, really rare. You know how man bites dog makes the news, dog bites man does not. They have news these days. What's the most important face-off to win?
Center ice.
No.
Penalty kill.
Penalty kills. There we are. We got it. Penalty kills. They're the ones you have to win. Okay. Because you're a player down. You've got to win those defensive zone face-offs. You don't want the attacking team to get an opportunity to get set up without pressure. So the most important one is a penalty kill face-off. These are the ones you at the very least, if you can't win it, you've got to nullify it. You've got to take it out of the game. And there are techniques we'll talk about a little bit later in terms of how to neutralize a face-off and make sure that no one wins it, or at least give yourself a chance for no one to win it. And we'll talk about that. And you can do it legally. It's not a foul, but they're really important. So with face-offs, I'm going to go back to to bring the map up again, and we're going to pop some face-offs, some hypothetical face-off situations. Oh, map, where'd you go? Go. Here's our ink. So first off, starting face-off, middle of the rink, neutral ice. We all know it. You've seen them now already. Probably done a couple. We'll be the stars. The opposition can be the crosses. So they're going to have a player and a player and a player and probably a player and probably a player. And we are going to do pretty much exactly the same. There are some times when you might change it, but to start off with, we'll keep it nice and simple. So me as the center in that situation, I've got some choices, haven't I? First thing I need to do is I need to have a plan. If I come to a face-off with no idea of what to do with the puck, what's going to happen?
They will probably win it.
Who knows? I don't have a plan. I don't even know where I'm going to put the puck. I don't have a plan. I just skated up to the mark. It's like, oh, face-off. Cool. I'll just whack away at it. Have a plan. So in this situation, the most common plan is to win the puck on your backhand. So for me as a lefty, I'm going to do this from my perspective because I'm a lefty. And it's a bit easier for me. For me, I would want to put the puck back to that D. That's my plan. For me, that's a backhander. It's an easy one to get. I'll get probably 60% of them. If I'm reasonably good at it, 60% is a pretty good ratio. And then what I want the D to do is to dump the puck up the boards. And I'm going to do that and go get it. And all of a sudden, we've created a rush down the side. Great. It works a lot. So it's a very common move. Are there any other options you could use in that face-off that you can think of?
Try and go straight sideways for the wingers.
You could, but what happens then?
Gives the opposition time.
Yeah. What else are you doing? Not just giving the opposition time.
You're pinching off your defense as well.
Not really. If I as a so Tim, I'll just run with that. If I as a center put the puck there, right? Who's got it?
It's a contest.
Contest.
Yeah.
I put the puck into a contest. I don't want to do that. Not there anyway. There might be times when I might, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But as a general rule, I don't want to put the puck into contested play. I want to put it somewhere where we're going to win it, where we can make a play out of it. We had a guy who was doing something similar, and this was a couple of seasons ago, and he thought about it a lot. And it was a good implementation of a really bad idea. What he was doing was this. And I'll get rid of all these things. So we'll start again from scratch. He wasn't doing it for a neutralized face-off, but we'll do it there just by way of example. All right, so he had, he was here, and he got his winger to plonk themselves there. And the other winger was here, and he'd organised this, so that was their setup at the face-off. Okay. Mostly conventional, but he had his winger sitting just a little bit back, and his idea was he was going to win the puck, back to that winger. And he did. Okay. That winger's standing still. The opposition, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, has now got what?
They just need to move forward.
Which they're going to
The
do.
standing still winger.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have an advantage.
So it was a very well implemented, really bad idea. Because he basically passed the puck back to his own winger, who was standing still when a player from the other team was charging towards them and got the puck and would get around them and had momentum. So no, I wouldn't put it there. But it's not a bad thing to think about. And there are times when you might. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So we'll go back to this face-off. Center ice. What are some other alternatives that might work?
Well, to try to put the puck to the boards straight away, maybe. Just like forward. Instead of backwards and then forwards, yes, somewhere here.
Yeah, you could do that. If you
Well,
do that, what would you also want to have happen?
the winger to charge straight away to be ready.
Your winger needs to know, don't they?
Yeah,
So how do you do that?
communication.
Yeah, you tell them. You say, hey, I'm going to put the puck in front of you. Drop of the puck, you move. I do that a lot. If I'm not confident that I can win a face-off back to my winger safely, quite often I will put the puck into that space there. And I will tell my winger, I'm going to put it in front of you, you go get it. What would make that be a more or less viable option from a neutral zone face-off? Why would you choose that? Can you think of any good reasons?
More space with the first option for the puck.
Have we ever considered the ability of our opponents?
Who cares? I mean, yeah, but
So
yeah,
if
we
I
should.
look up the ice and I see this defender here, so me as a lefty, I see that defender and I think that defender's out of position, maybe not very confident on their feet, perhaps not the best defender around, maybe the team has made the mistake of putting their weaker players in defense instead of attack. Am I more likely to want to put the puck towards that player?
Obviously, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm confident that my winger can beat them. I'll take that chance. If, on the other hand, that D is one of their better players, and certainly we saw last season the Griffins had one D who was particularly good, and that was that D standing there, would you take that option against that player?
Against Simon, nah.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not such a good choice. So it's a reactive thing as well. It's about understanding who you're playing against. In the first couple of games, you're not going to know anyway. But you can kind of tell just even by watching how they stand. If they're standing still, looking a bit shaky on their feet, you're thinking, I'd back my winger against that player. If, on the other hand, they look pretty solid, maybe not such a good choice. So there are a couple of options from an attacking from a neutral zone face-off. That putting the puck into space option is a better choice in another situation, which we'll just look at now. And that is this one. We've been caught offside. Now, if they set up in a conventional manner, look at the situation there. What do you see?
Lots of open ice.
Isn't there? Heaps and heaps and heaps of it in a really good space too. Right? Look at all this. Hello. I want to put the puck there and challenge my winger to go get it. So I'm going to do that with the puck. I'm going to dump it in. I'm going to try and win it on my forehand or whatever it is. I'm going to try and put the puck into that empty space. I'm also going to make sure my winger knows. I might even tell my winger, move across a bit, find yourself some more open space. Get over my scribble. So what I might do in that context is tell my winger, hey, I want you to find some space. Maybe put yourself way over here. Because if they set up conventionally, and they will mostly at the moment, they'll probably have, this and this and this. and then probably that and that, because they won't necessarily know how to adapt to it. That our winger's now got a great head start, and there's no one in front of them to even get in the way. We better win it, but if we dump the puck into that corner and then chase it in, that's setting up a really good scoring opportunity. So that's a good choice as well. Where's the worst place to put it in this face-off?
The boards.
Which boards?
Oh well, where the numbers are on the left there, yeah.
You reckon?
Yeah.
So putting the puck there is a bad choice?
Oh well, yeah, well, or towards where the winger is, yeah, I think so.
It's not the best of choices, but are they going to get a breakaway from it?
Ah, okay, yeah. So if you go the other side,
Yeah,
and
if I
he
put the puck here,
mishandles it,
yeah. What have we
Yeah.
just done?
there's plenty of open ice.
And breakaway goal.
Yeah.
Oops. Bad choice. Naughty center. Don't do that. Okay, so towards the boards is at least safer. It's not such a bad option, because if your D can get it and just rim it straight up the boards, then we can turn that into an attack. If, on the other hand, we put it into the middle of the ice, put it in that center lane, and we've only got one player back there now, and we can't cover because we're stuck in the face-off, we can't do that supporting now, we're committed, all of a sudden we've created an opportunity. Oops. Don't put it there. Yeah. Okay. I mean, your opposition might, but we're not going to do it ourselves. Other face-offs of note. You can start to think a lot about these. Your attacking zone face-off is an interesting one. This is where you do want to put the pack into traffic. The way I want us to set up our attacking zone face-off is a little bit different. I want this. Right? See what I've done there?
Taking the winger off the board.
Yep. Because they can't score from there. They're not a scoring threat. I put them at the back of the face-off circle instead, and the other winger right smack bang in the slot. And my plan from this face-off is really simple. I am going to try and score a goal from the face-off. I'm going to put the puck there. It probably won't go in, but I might get a rebound. This winger is going to do what?
Get the rebound score.
Charge in, get the rebound. Where did that one go? I had a video of it. I actually did this in a couple of games ago, and my winger scored from exactly that. So it works. It's a good play. I'll track it down and put it on the Facebook group so you guys can see it later. I'm not sure what I've done with it. It's not in this particular little chunk of videos, but I do have it somewhere. All right, that's a good choice there. What's another good choice from this face-off, do you think?
Could you go back to your winger that's next to closer to the board so they could get it to the one in front of the net?
You could do that. That would work.
Drop it back to your defense.
Which one?
One in the center, and then your winger to your right-hand side skates up to the other side of the net.
I'm going to show you something. You're going to love this. When I'll get the right video anyway. Oh, since it's not here. Oh, because it's two defensive priorities. I'm looking in the wrong folder. Oh, hello. Sorry, I'm looking in the wrong place. This is the one I want. All right. Just so you know, that's me there, number 80 for the Rangers. Okay. Let's watch what happens. What did I just do?
Looked at who's around you.
And
communicated to somebody?
Yeah, I told my winger, my D, who was going to be in the middle of the ice, that I'm going to pass it to him. That's Chris White. He's got a pretty decent shot on him, and he's a pretty handy D. Let's watch what happens. Is that a perfect face-off win?
Yes. Let me guess it goes past him.
Oops.
Whoops. So is that a good tactic?
Too
Sometimes.
risky.
Yeah, it's a very high risk play. There are times when you might do it, but it's very high risk. If you watched any of the Ducks women's games last summer, did any of you watch any of them? Maybe, maybe not. They
Yeah.
had Jelena Grakovic, who was a D with a fantastic shot, right? And she
Yeah.
would get on the blue line and wait for exactly that pass from the center for center. And how many times did it go wrong, do you think?
She can hit the puck hard though when she lands, when she gets onto it. Wow.
Yeah, but she doesn't aim it very well.
No.
Is it a high percentage scoring opportunity? Did it give away a lot of breakaways?
Yeah, probably more breakaways than
Plus minus was terrible.
yeah. But when she slaps it, it's impressive.
Yeah, but it doesn't go in the net. It's just like sprayed. Like every now and then it does, and it's like, yeah, fantastic. But like 80% of the time it goes the other way, and they get breakaway goals, and they got thrashed. Very high risk. I mean, there are times when you will play a high risk option, but as a general rule, that's a really bad play. Although intuitively you think it's a good option because you think I'm playing it back to my D who's in a good spot to take a shot, but they're not really, because if the other team's doing the right thing, and the Chiefs here, watch what their winger does. So I want you to pay attention to this player here. Watch what they do. That's the one who scores the goal, but let's watch what they do. What happened?
Took off.
Yeah, drop of the puck, bang, straight away. We teach that in our defensive zone face-off as well. It's those two wingers, they've got to go kaboom, straight up the ice, and that's exactly what he does. Blocks the shot, gets something in the way. Now there's no one home, and they go home and they go off and they get a breakaway goal. Our other D's like, what the hell just happened? Right, so it's not a good choice, usually. All right, where are we? More face-off opportunities. So in an attacking zone face-off, my general rule of thumb is if we go to the heat map, okay, because an attacking zone face-off isn't a particularly good scoring opportunity. Why is that?
Ingested?
Yeah. Is it a breakaway?
No.
No. They're already there. We're not going to get a breakaway goal against them. We might get a lucky shot. We might get something into some traffic and get a rebound or something or other, or just a goalie who's not necessarily paying attention. But it's not a good scoring opportunity. An attacking zone face-off is actually a very poor opportunity to score a goal. And as we've just seen, a defensive zone face-off is a great opportunity to score a goal. So we're looking at the heat map. If I have a face-off, let's say we're going left to right. Right, and we've got this face-off, so that's us there, here, and here. I want to put the puck into the red zone and see what happens. That's my plan. I'm going to put it in the red zone. I want my winger to find themselves some space and jam in. The ultimate example of that, because that's a normal sort of conventional play, but under some circumstances, and this is taking it to its logical extreme, you might even do that. What's going on there?
Empty net.
Yep, because there's five forwards jammed up, plus the centre. All six of them are lined up in a line, aren't they? So what's their plan, do you reckon? It's pretty obvious.
Just shoot.
Just put on the net and just jam everyone in. And maybe you get a rebound. And you know what? Sometimes it works. So under what circumstances would you do that?
2 seconds left.
2 seconds?
Yeah, a small number.
Yeah, a small number of seconds. As a little bit of an experiment, I did this last night at the training at the hockey school. I wanted to see how long it takes the puck to go from the face-off circles to the goal line at the other end with a normal wrist shot. Have a guess how long it takes.
1.5 seconds.
Oh, keep going.
I know the answer.
You were there. You were there. You can say it, it's fine.
What was it? 3.5 seconds or 3.4 or something?
9 seconds it took. Now that was hand time.
3.9. Yeah.
So realistically, about 4 seconds. During which time it is not possible to be scored against. So you can empty the net and you can shove everyone forwards. You can't possibly be scored against. There isn't enough time for the puck to go from one end of the ring to the other. And that would only happen if the opposition centre won the face-off with a shot at your net. It's not very likely. Because they would have to somehow turn whatever it is they're trying to do there into a shot. Very, very difficult. Okay, so realistically, you're probably talking sort of 6 or 7 seconds is the absolute worst case scenario for the puck for a goal to be scored from a defensive zone face-off. That's roughly how long it would take. So anything less than about 10 seconds, you're thinking about doing this. Now, in recreational league, it would be difficult to make that happen at the end of the first or the second period, but you can certainly do it in stop time at the end of the third. And we will if we get a chance. So if we get a close result, because with rec league, the way it works is if the score differential is 1 goal or less with a minute to go, you go to what's called stop time, and then the clock will stop every time the whistle is blown. And if the opposition, for example, ices the puck with 5 seconds to go, we're going to pull the goalie and we're going to stack this just to see if we can make it work. It's a lot of fun, but we'll give it a go because you can't lose. You cannot possibly be scored against. There isn't enough time. So you may as well. I actually had a chat last night with Jeremy, who's the coach of the Melbourne Ducks. On a couple of occasions had a chance to do that and didn't. And I think from now on he probably will. Because I rather subtly suggested to him that it was a bit of a lack of imagination there. You could have done this and there's no way you could possibly be scored against and you might just score a goal. So why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah, the Jets, Winnipeg Jets did it 2 years ago against Minnesota.
They score?
Yep. With 3 seconds left and they pulled the goalie. Yeah, it was in the first period.
Because they knew they couldn't possibly be scored against. So why not? There's nothing to lose. You can't be scored against. It's not possible.
And the Jets scored.
May as well, yeah. Give it a go. See what happens. You're crazy not to. But anyway, I can't show you the stuff from today because that's a spoiler. All right, so they're plans from face-offs. Okay, as another part of the plan from the face-off is to make sure that you communicate it to your teammates. Your teammates have to know what you're doing. When can you do that?
On the way to the face-off?
Yeah, absolutely. You're skating out there as a group. You've probably just changed. Skate along next to them and say, you do this. Now, they may or may not remember. Certainly at the moment, they probably won't. And you probably won't either. But it's worth at least starting to get that process happening. As I skate out for face-off, where is it? What's my plan? What am I going to do? Who do I need to tell? What do I want them to do if and when I execute it correctly? Okay. I want to look at one more face-off as well. So I kind of skipped past it when I shouldn't have. This is a really important one. And it is our defensive zone face-off. So if we're going up the ice and we've got a defensive zone face-off. So we are, let's say it's right-hand side. Why not? It's a good day for it. 1, 2. We're going to set up our players like that. That's our defensive zone face-off setup. Remember that from Tuesday night? No, I don't remember. We're going to work through it all season. Anyway, that's our standard defensive zone face-off, pretty much like that. There's some variations on the theme. As the centre there, where do I want to put the puck and where do I do not want the puck to go?
You want it to go to the right. You don't want it to go towards the goal.
Yep, I want to keep it away from the high scoring area. My best option is to put it back here. That's the safest choice for me. Why is that?
Can't score.
They can't score, and what else?
The defender can go up and over.
Yeah, your defender's got choices. They can play an up or an over depending on what pressure's coming on them, and they've also got a bit of time because the opposition players are probably going to be a bit slow off the mark. Certainly in Div 10 they will be. So you're probably going to have a couple of seconds there with the puck with time to make plays happen. Where you most certainly do not want to put it is here. You will do everything in your power to stop the puck going into that area because that's where it's dangerous. And we know that. We've seen the heat map. We understand that. So we want to keep the puck out of there. Where are some other good places to put it?
Up the boards.
Yeah, if you can. If it's on your forehand, putting the puck there is not a bad choice because that way it can rim off the boards and start getting out. And you might go to their defensive player, but it's not a very good scoring option from out here. If that does go straight to them and they're sitting here and waiting for it, is that a great scoring chance for them?
Not really.
Depends who it is.
But it doesn't depend on who it is. I mean, it's either bad or really bad as a scoring choice. How many goals get scored from the blue line in the NHL?
Not many.
Not many. Okay. Occasionally, like it's not zero chance, but it's pretty low. So that's not a bad choice. It's not as safe as putting it into the corner, but it's not a bad choice. And again, it depends who the D is there for the other team. If you look up ice and you see it's someone who can barely stand up, then that's a better choice than if it's someone who's really good. We also know, or at least we're going to start learning this, that our wingers are going to be doing that. That's our defensive zone face-off, isn't it? So where's another good place to put the puck? Any ideas?
Leave it around the face-off so the winger can pick it up.
Just poke it through the other center's legs. If I pop the puck, if I pop it sort of there, right, that's not bad because I know my winger is doing that. What's that winger going to do?
Will happily pick up the puck and carry it.
Yeah. With momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Not defensive priorities. That's not the one I want. That keeps going back to that screen for me. Most annoyance. Don't do that. There's the one I wanted. Where are you, Mr. Marchand? Is this the one?
Trying to get it back to Montour.
Sorry, I'm just making sure I've got the right video. Yep, here we go. Let's watch this. This was a heartbreaking situation for me as a Boston fan, but you'll enjoy it if you're not a Boston fan. But it's the idea is the same. So Boston have set up a similar defensive zone face-off to ours. It's not identical, but it's pretty close in this context. Let's have a look what happens.
Try back to Montour. Does. Trying to get it back to Montour. Does.
Now, if I stopped it there, you'd think that was a goal, wouldn't you? But anyway, did you see what happened?
Yeah, exactly. Like poke through the center legs.
Yeah,
and the breakaway.
First gets past the other D because they're overconfident. They've all pinched in, gets away and gets a potential breakaway. Now, if Brad Marchand had have buried that one with 1 second to go, that would have put Florida out of the Stanley Cup and would have advanced Boston through to the second round. Oh, Bobrovsky, you bastard! He made the save. But
he's had a good game looking at that. 42 shots.
Yeah, it stood on his head. He was incredible. Anyway, that's history now. But yeah, that's exactly that situation. Okay, the puck goes through there, you get a break on, and off you go. And it happens much more, certainly with our setup, that's a very common play for us, and it will happen a lot. There's another one here, I think.
That's such a funny word.
So here's an example of the attacking zone face-off and just putting it into contested space. Like in that situation, Montreal are playing a reasonably similar defensive setup to what ours would be. Their D's in a different place, but otherwise it's pretty similar. Let's watch what happens.
That's such a funny word. What's Boston on top? Talk about it all the time, Rick. A clean face-off win. Bruins decide to go with heavily.
Super simple. Put it into the high-risk area. Have a winger moving forward, crashing the net. You get a puck on their stick and they bury it. That's not a bad plan. You can see that it works. All right, so we kind of thought a bit about planning, and we can go into a lot of detail. One of the really important parts about the plans that you're going to use for face-offs is the temptation to complicate it will arise. Do not. Keep it really, really simple. What happens if I give someone 3 instructions?
They forget half of them.
None of them will be remembered, probably.
They forget all of them. What if I give you 1 instruction?
There is a chance.
Yeah, there's a chance you might do it. If I give you 3, it's not going to happen. So what I would say to my winger in that situation is crash the net. Just crash the net. It's that simple. And I'm just going to put the puck on the net and see what happens. I'm going to say to my D, if I win it to you, play it up the boards. It's that simple. Nothing more complicated than that. Any more complicated than that, it's not going to work. And chances are, at this level, it's not going to work anyway. But if you get in the habit of starting that communication, it will certainly start to help. All right. So we have all the stuff about plans and where to put the puck. We better think about how to do it, haven't we? Because it's one thing to, to talk about what I'm going to do with it, but I need to know how to actually do it too. It's not enough to know what to do. It's also how we're going to do it.
Draws for and
Now, there are a lot of different ways to do it, but as a default, first thing you want to learn is what to watch, because it's a race to the puck, isn't it? You've lined up opposite your opposite center. You've got yourself down nice and low. You've probably got a double overhand grip with your hands down low on your stick. So you're going to look like that. See how the hands are low on their sticks? So before we even go any further, what's the Maple Leafs player? What's the Maple Leafs plan there? What time and what's he want to do? Can you tell what he's doing from the way he's holding the stick?
Possibly sweep to the left.
Yeah, well, yes. Is that his left? He's going to sweep it into the corner. Okay. It's pretty obvious from the way he's holding his stick, isn't it? What about the Philly player?
Probably tie up the stick.
Maybe.
Jam in first.
Yeah, and then what?
Backhand outside left.
Yeah, or behind him. Let's see what happens.
perfect. Couturier back, Drew Red draws for, and it's perfect. Couturier back, Drew Red draws for.
Who picked that? It's pretty good, wasn't it? Now, this is slow motion. I want you to pay attention. Have I slowed that one down? I think we've got a slow-mo of it. Something next slow-mo, maybe? Maybe I haven't. Anyway, the key when you're taking a face-off is to watch the referee's elbow. Any of you ever done any martial arts, boxing, anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
What moves first?
The hips, shoulders, elbow.
Yeah. Hands move last, don't they? Now, the referee is not going to move their hips or shoulders very much, or at least they shouldn't. But you want to watch their elbow, because the elbow will lead the hand. So as soon as the referee's elbow moves, you move.
perfect. Couturier back.
Couturier got there first, blocked the sweep, and then swept the puck back, and that ended up actually being a goal. Really simple plan, but watch the referee's elbow. Things to watch out for, and we're going to start looking at feet. So I'm going to concentrate mostly now on the defensive zone face-off. Oh, hang on, this is the slow-mo, I think. Yeah, this is it slowed down. The one I was just going to show you a minute ago. I was showing you a minute ago, but this is slowed down. So they started moving before the puck started moving down.
Yep.
The other thing is look at their footwork. Can you tell anything from where they've placed their feet?
The wide stance sort of suggests it's going to go between the legs.
Well, not necessarily between the legs, but certainly it's a wide stance, isn't it? Why would you want a wide stance?
Nice and anchored.
Yeah,
More stable.
you're really stable. It's very hard to push you over because this is one of the few occasions where you are in direct physical contact with your opponent, and you're allowed to run into them. Okay, because you're contesting the puck. You're both contesting the puck. You can step forward. Now, if you're a big guy and the person you're playing against is a small person, be careful. Don't flatten them because you'll get penalised and you may hurt them. We don't want that to happen. But two people roughly the same size, boom, you can hit each other. That's okay. Just measure it. Okay, don't be crazy about it. All right. But you can tell a lot by what's going to happen with the footwork. And in fact, it gets even more important. Do you remember just a little bit earlier I was talking about in a defensive zone face-off, I'm going to do everything in my power to keep the puck out of that high-risk area? Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
What do you see?
Set up to the left of the dot, so he's more in towards the net.
Yep. What does that do?
Positions you a bit more closer to the lane, I guess.
Yep. And what does that do? I mean, you're right, but what does it do?
Creates more of a barrier, closes off their shot.
You're in the way. It's not complicated. I'm just more in the way. My skates are in the way. If the other forward tries to get a forehand shot on the net from that face-off, they're more likely to hit my skate, which is going to deflect it away from the net because I've blocked it. They can't skate through me. I'm in the way. I'm just physically in the way of it. There are some rules about it. From those face-offs where the hash marks are, your feet must stay on either side of the lines. So you see there, Charlie Coyle, he's got that foot's right on that line, isn't it? Couldn't go any further across. He's as far across as he's legally allowed to go. And he's on his backhand. Where do you think he wants to put the puck?
Down back right-hand side.
In the corner.
Down here. He wants to give it to Connor Clifton. Cliffy, it's yours, mate. I'm paying it back to you. Cliffy's like, yep, no worries. I got it. And the other three forwards, the other players there, they're lined up, ready to blast up the ice quite quickly. Right? We know what they're going to do. Did I just draw something I shouldn't? No, that's a pair of glasses. That's not so bad. This is not meant for children. I think we can see it in a. Here's another example of a face-off. This is from a PWHL. What's going on there, do you think? I mean, it's obviously a face-off, but who's trying to do what?
Boston's tying it up first.
Yep. Get your stick across and just jam the space. What's Nurse trying to do?
To throw it back.
Yeah.
for the defender.
And you can see because of what she's done. She's gone forwards, nice, good, low, aggressive stance. And interestingly enough, although Nurse has got a double backhand, what's the Boston player doing? That's not a double back, not a double overhand grip, is it? That's more of a convention.
Yeah.
So what's he trying to do, you think?
Sweep the stick with the backhand and then take it forehand.
Yeah, exactly. So you can see there's a couple of different techniques you can use. All of these things too are things you should practice. Whenever I do a stick and puck, and I'll be doing a stick and puck tomorrow morning, I always spend about 10 minutes at the start of each stick and puck doing a little bit of sprint work, and then a whole heap of practice unopposed face-offs. So I grab myself a pile of pucks, and I just put a puck on the dot, and I practice doing different things with it that I want to practice. Because as anyone who's done anything that involves repetition of a skill and doing things quickly knows, how do you get quicker at doing something?
Doing it again and again.
Just simple repetition. It's not magic. You just get faster at things because you do them more. And so that's what I'll do. So anyone who's coming along to stick and puck tomorrow morning, you're welcome to come and do it with me. We'll muck around with it and work on some individual techniques. So I'll turn a whole heap of, I'll get 5 pucks and make all of them into shots on the net, and then I'll do 5 digs into the corner, and then 5 forward sweeps to backhands, and a few other bits and pieces that I want to work on. And so I'll probably end up doing about 30 or so face-offs, not with anyone opposing me, just on my own, just practicing it so I maintain speed and currency. And the more I do that, the quicker I get it, and the more I win face-offs. And the same thing will happen with you. Things you can do with face-offs is you can watch other players, but there's no substitute for practicing it yourself. And you can do it in your garage with a stick and a puck, just trying to, hit it off the concrete or something or other, or a tile if you've got it, that sort of thing. Lots of ways that you can practice it. Where are we? I missed anything. 3 zones, face-offs, have a plan, attacking zone. Yep. Alrighty. So we'll kind of wind it up on face-offs at the moment, because we can spend hours and hours and hours looking at face-offs, and it's one of those things you actually need to practice. But yeah, the key part about face-offs is have a plan. Make sure it's not a dumb plan. I'm not going to put the puck somewhere where they can score. I'm going to put the puck somewhere where it's either safe first, and secondly may create a scoring opportunity for us. But my priority is always safety. I don't want to give away an easy goal, especially because it's one of the few occasions as a centre where I'm not able to get back an assist. Can I? If the puck gets behind me, what can I do?
Not a lot.
Yeah, but I'm behind the play. I know. I'm playing catch up. It's the only time, really, as a centre, that you're unable to assist on a back check effectively. So you want to be conservative with your face-offs. And try and win them. They're fun. I love, if I did nothing but do face-offs for the rest of my hockey career, I'd be in hockey, and I love it. So much fun. There's players I know I can beat every time. They're not much fun to play against, but there's some who beat me quite regularly, and that's a really, really good contest. And it's great fun.
And it took me a while to find the illustration, but actually it happened a few days ago. The spacing for the face-off on the offside. I put it in the chat. Just like, it may look ridiculous, but it kind of worked for Adulov. It was a long.
Oh golly! Yep. Okay.
Yeah, you see, it's he's pretty much against the opposite forward.
It works. Did it work?
Yeah, and it's KHL finals, playoff finals, not even semifinals. It's the final series.
That's making a lot of space, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. Well spotted. All right. So we're going to talk now briefly about our role in attack as a center, because it is important. As a general rule, as a center, you want to be the third player up, third player into the attack. Not always. It's not always going to work out like that, but generally you want to be the third player in. Why is that?
To have a chance for a defense play.
Mm-hmm. What else?
Is it because you're letting the wingers do their job?
Yep. And
and then you're the third one in, so you're the first one to get back.
Yep.
And to help the D.
First back checker.
Yeah.
What else?
All chance to be loose and set up a play.
Yeah, absolutely. You get the high slot. I'll pop some videos in the Facebook group once this is over, and I'll track some down and pop them in there of exactly that happening, of the center coming through as the third player, and creating and scoring goals from there. Because it does happen. I'm not saying as a center that you're never allowed to score a goal. That would be absolutely crazy. But it certainly does happen. And if you're smart about it, you can create good scoring opportunities. I'm just trying to see. No, it'll take me too long to find it. I'll track them down afterwards, and I'll pop them in the Facebook group so you can have a look. Because there was a couple of really good ones from last season where one of the girls did a great job of it and just got this lovely goal from being the third player in. So you want to stay high. So high slot. We all know what high slot means. Just in case, I'll go over it again. Okay, so here we are. Let's say we're attacking up the ice. You've got, we will be the Stars again. We've got one of our forwards has gone in to get the puck in the corner, because that's usually what happens. The other forward, the winger, has gone to the slot because that's where we want them to go. So you as a center, you're going to float around up here. For starters, we've got a nice triangle, so the player in the corner has options. And as a center, as I think Yatesy just pointed out, you can also get back quickly if you need to. You can see the game, you're not buried in it. So you usually want to be that high slot player. If you find yourself in close slot and there's a winger sitting in your lap and it's your winger, get out of there. They'll do it. We tell wingers crash the net, so that's what they do. As a center, you want to get out of there. We don't want to have two players in the slot. We want to have one up high. And that's mainly because we're emphasizing that defensive option. If the puck gets away from us, you've got less distance to cover to get back. Especially if your D starts pinching in. Because they will. And you better be able to fix it. Okay. I'll put some videos of centers doing exactly that and being very effective. I'll put them up in the Facebook group this evening when I get a chance to. I'll put them like a little collection of them in there so you can have a look and see the example I'm talking about. All good with that?
Yep.
Breakout. Okay, so we know our breakout, at least in theory we do. Oops, put that started there. That's not right. Come on. So we know that in our breakout, we're playing bottom to top. Let's say it's left-hand side. We will have a D down here with the puck, the other D there, a winger, and a winger. Look familiar? Should. The center is doing this. Until it comes out, you're going to keep circulating around here, and then you go. Generally, the third forward out of the zone. Why do we want to be the third, not the first one out?
A bit of coverage.
Yeah, for when it goes wrong. Right at the very start, the center's the insurance policy. Things will go wrong. This game is full of mistakes, full of handling errors, full of poor choices, under pressure. Our job as a center is to fix the mistakes. We're the insurance policy of the team. When it goes wrong, we fix it. That's our job. So the reason why you're doing that is if something goes wrong here, you're still close enough to do something about it. If something goes wrong here, you're still close enough to do something about it. If for some reason that pass happens, but if it does, again, you're close enough to do something about it. We're not expecting the wingers to do that. Winger has one thing in their head, go score a goal. And that's what we want them to do. Our role is more nuanced than that. Okay. That's about it, I think. Any questions? We've been going for about an hour and 20 minutes. It's probably more than enough time to have pumped way too much stuff in your heads and you'll forget most of it. But any thoughts, any questions?
Just a quick one. You said you like to take your face-offs as a centre, but overall, is winning face-offs or more important than like just what we're talking about being the third man in? What's the centre's most important role overall? Like, is it just depends on what you are better at?
Well,
like coverage, being the third man in, you know what I mean?
The most important role of the centre is the insurance policy. If you don't win a face-off all game,
yep,
but the opposition doesn't score because you're always in the right place, that's more valuable than winning every single face-off but giving away a ton of goals.
Okay, so if you're terrible at face-offs as a centre, that's okay if you do the other parts right. Or try to.
Sort of. I mean, you want to get better at them.
Yeah.
Because it's a part of it. And you may even find, and there are some teams, and Boston did it this year, where they had one of their fourth liners who was fantastic at face-offs. What's his name? The goon. But he had like a face-off percentage of like 75, 80%. So he was doing really, really good on his face-offs. And what they do is they pop him on to take the face-off and then immediately change.
Minnesota do it too. I'm pretty sure Nico Sturm goes out and then straight away stops for Eriksson Ek.
Yeah. So they get someone who's really, really good at face-offs to win the puck, especially on 3-on-3 when it's super, super critical that you must have possession. They did this a lot in overtime. If it was 3-on-3, they'd pop out. I can't remember his name. Anyway, doesn't matter. Who would win the face-off and then immediately get it changed because that's what he was good at. But he wasn't as good as the other guys at the rest of it, but he would win face-offs for them. So they would do that. And you can also, and we don't do this in the dev squad, and a lot of teams don't, but some of the more advanced teams do. If you think about a face-off in the defensive zone or the attacking zone, there's time when being a left-hander or a right-hander is an advantage, isn't there? Say, for example, on an attacking zone face-off, if I want to turn the shot onto the net, I want that to be a forehand for me because it's easier for me. I can just whack it with my forehand. So for me as a lefty, a left-hand side face-off is a good opportunity, but a right-hand side face-off doesn't work so well for me because all I've got there is my backhand, and that's not going to work as well. So I might think, hang on, it's a right-hand side face-off. I don't ever say in it because it was a save. We'll get a right-handed centre in.
Yeah. I'll see that quite a bit. Yeah.
I'll take it as a lefty because I can put it on the net better. And some teams will do that. You won't find it in rec league. At least it's very, very rare. We tried to do it once, and honestly, people just got so confused they couldn't handle it. It's like, oh, it's on that side, it's on this side. Oh, I don't know what to do, and we would end up with two centers, and it just didn't work. But certainly, some of the more advanced teams will. So, and in fact, that actually brings up an interesting point, something that I didn't mention earlier, and that is when the puck is iced or you have a penalty, what happens about where the face-off is? Anyone know?
Attacking centre chooses.
Yeah, exactly. So you get to put it wherever you want it. So if the other team has iced it, or it's the start of a power play always starts with an attacking zone face-off, except under some very limited situations. So me as a lefty, I want this face-off in attack, and in defense, I want that face-off because my backhand is putting the puck there. And I'll back myself to win them against anyone in Div 6. All right. So if I have a choice, I'm going to do that. Now, you can do a little bit of a Jedi mind trick, and in Div 10, you'll probably get away with it. And I know I certainly get away with it in Div 6 sometimes. We know, or at least we should know, we're starting to know that when there's an icing or a power play, the attacking team gets to choose which side the face-off's on, don't they? Yeah.
Just go and stand there.
Yeah. Go and stand on the side you want and watch what happens. Sometimes the other team will line up where you wanted it because they don't know any better. Sometimes they'll line up facing the wrong way too, won't they? We all saw that last week. That was priceless. What's going on here? And that's what ultimately led to Ella getting that penalty because the referees were so confused about what was going on that they lost track of who was onside and who wasn't. She came out of the penalty box perfectly, picked up a pass, got a breakaway. No one in front of her went in and scored a goal. Didn't hear that the whistle had blown for offside, but it shouldn't have been blown for offside because it wasn't offside. But the referees were confused because everyone was, Poor Marshy. Anyway, she did absolutely everything right, except she didn't hear the whistle and she took a shot after the whistle. But anyway, so you can set up early, and sometimes the other team will just blindly follow you, especially in Div 10. So in a defensive zone face-off, put it on your backhand. So put the puck in the corner. All right. That's just a bit of an introduction to it. To rehash, your job as a centre is the insurance policy of the team to fix things when they go wrong. We've got an idea now of some players to use from face-offs to try and be useful and minimise risk. In particular, minimise risk first. It's more important that we're hard to score against than anything else. I'll just show you the agenda of what we've been going through so you can kind of see. I don't think I've missed anything. Miss any of that? I think we've got it all. This week for the dev squad, we're working on defensive zone face-offs and changing on the rush is our priority for this coming weekend's game. But we'll talk about that with the whole team, and I'll start putting some videos and stuff up tomorrow. There's a couple of you who will be new playing center, and again, any of you who want to have a go at it, please do let me know. I'll do my best to accommodate it. That said, I can't have 16 centers; it doesn't work. We need wingers and we need D. And the other part about it too is if you are a center, the most important position that you need to know how to play as well as center is D, because sometimes you're going to be D. You're going to be stuck there. In particular, the way we play it on a penalty kill, the center takes over for the D if the D's in the box. So our centers need to know how to play D. So I will usually rotate centers through D if I've got too many centers. So you'll get a couple of games in D and then a couple of games in center, and so we'll kind of rotate you through, because developing that skill of playing defense is very important. I'm done. I'm out of stuff. Anyone got any more questions?
Nope.
No, we're all good. Alrighty. I might see some of you tomorrow morning at the Sticking Park. Maybe. But regardless, I'll see all of you on Sunday for game 2.
Thanks, Carl.
Thanks, Carl.
Thanks, Carl. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Carl.
Thank you.
Don't forget to wash your gear. No stinky jerseys, yeah?
Time's your games on Sunday?
Yeah, sometime in the evening. I don't know.
5 something.
I just know that my Sunday is looking after you guys.
Well, you won't be looking after me, but
Well,
I might. We haven't got a game, so I might pop down.
Yeah. You want to be a door bitch? That'd be great.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Alrighty. See you later, everyone. Have a great night.